Okay, so we just got to Chicago. We're in the Airbnb, so obviously the lighting is horrible and everything. I apologize for that, but I got to bring you guys some really sad news today, which is that Hella Sketchy passed away. Some of you won't necessarily know who that is. If you clicked on this, you probably would, but I encourage everybody to definitely go check out his music and everything. He was a producer at first. He did a lot of pop and YouTube beats. He did like some TK songs that originally earned him a bunch of notoriety, and then he had his own solo music and everything. And we met through Atlantic early on, and I got to know him pretty well. And yeah, he passed away this morning. It was drug related. He just overdosed. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I have no idea. I know members of his family and stuff. He was only 18, so this is super, super sad. Like, it's just kind of taking everybody aback because he was so young. And I mean, to me personally, I feel horrible about it because I just got to think about the last couple of times I saw him. The last couple of times I saw him, he like came to the store and he was just too fucked up. And you know, I think at one point somebody had to put him in an Uber and like send him home and stuff. And, you know, I'm just like busy as fuck, not really necessarily like paying enough attention to what people around me were going through. And it was just obvious that he was dealing with shit and that he was dealing with drugs, in particular opiates. And you know, I guess I would just encourage everybody out there to take more time to pay attention to what people around you are going through, even if it's a situation like drugs where it's very easy to look at somebody who's getting fucked up and to just be like, you're being annoying, I don't want to be around you, whatever. It's just, you know, there's so many people that you could potentially be around. It can be kind of hard to like really care enough to take a strong stance on somebody who is clearly in a position of need. And I think I'm probably gonna kind of feel that way about Sketchy, even though like we weren't super close, but it's like I should have been closer with him based on the friendship that we made and everything. And it's just now you kind of look at the situation, you're like, damn, I wish I had been more present. I wish I had tried harder to convince him that that wasn't the way to go. And now I gotta live with that, you know. Instead, I got distant, I drifted away from him, which is, you know, probably what the average person would do in a situation like that when they were dealing with somebody who was becoming an addict or whatever. I never saw him do drugs or anything like that. I just would see him and could tell that he was on shit. And yeah, I guess I would just encourage everybody to, if you have somebody in your life that you're worried about, don't just ignore them. Don't just figure you'll get back to them once they get their shit together. Because in a situation like this, I'm not going to get that chance. And also, I just want to take a second to say to anybody out there, if you're young, if you fuck around with pills or any kind of hard drugs, anything above weed or whatever, I mean, I guess I can't tell you. I can't just tell you not to do it. I can't tell you just to completely 100% leave that out of your life. Don't do that shit. Just leave it alone. The Xans and the perks and all that shit is, it's terrible. It's like the worst thing that you could do to yourself. And hopefully this is just more of an example of what you need to avoid. I mean, it's like the same exact fucking lesson that hopefully a lot of people got through their heads with Peep and a million other rappers, Yams and Pimp C, and you know, it's like there's no way that you could be a fan of rap as a genre and not have lost at least one artist that you really, really fucked with and cared about to drugs. Like, this is a constant problem. It'll always be a problem. But at least on a personal level, anybody watching this in particular, if you're a teenager or in your early 20s or whatever, stay the fuck away from that shit. Like, 100%. It's like, and I know sometimes I get shit because people be like, you guys talk about drugs. People say I glamorize drugs. I don't do drugs. I went through periods in my life where I fucked around with shit. Those days are in the past, and I just don't, you know, I can't condone anyone acting like this shit isn't a big deal. Like, we just have to have a harder standard, a harder stance for anybody who's glamorizing or doing anything to sort of minimize how serious this prescription pill holocaust that's kind of taking place in America is. So that's my advice to everybody out there: is please be careful. If you really feel the need to fuck around with drugs, just please be so moderate. Please be so much closer to the end of the spectrum of not doing that shit than the attitude that I see a lot of people get into, where it's like, oh, you start drinking lean and then all of a sudden you're pouring fours, and you think it's cool to take a Xan one time, and then all of a sudden you see the kid 6 months later and he's taking 6 Xans. It's like, please, like, if you have to fuck around, just realize that less, that doing a lot of something is so much more dangerous and so much just not worth it. So R.I.P. Sketchy, and my prayers to his family. I wish I could have done more. If you have somebody in your life that you think needs to hear something positive, don't be scared to reach out, because I've been through this a million times, because, you know, I'm from the place where everybody overdoses on fucking opiates. So I've seen it happen a million times, and it's still sad every time, and it's still shocking every time, and I still can't believe that that's part of our culture, I guess. So rest in peace, Hella Sketchy. Kids, be safe out there. Appreciate y'all.